friends, welcome to today's machine learning class, and in this class we will see the comparing learning algorithms from evaluating hypothesis from second unit. Okay, and comparing learning algorithms is the last topic of evaluating hypothesis. In the last class we have seen the errors of two hypotheses, that is the difference between errors of two hypotheses, isn't it? And in this class we are going to compare the learning algorithms. Okay, we are having two learning algorithms, LA and LB, and now we are going to compare which algorithm will give better learning method on average for learning some particular target function of the population P, the entire population P. Okay, so we have taken two learning algorithm LA and NB, and we are going to compare which one will give the better learning method. And here the relative performance of these two algorithms averaged. Okay, the performance of these two algorithms will be averaged overall the training data set. Okay, training data set is nothing but sample here, and size n, the sample size is n. Okay, that might be drawn from the underlying instance distribution D. Okay, this is nothing but the overall population. From the entire population we have to take the samples of size n examples, isn't it? So here the samples are nothing but training set. When come to the learning algorithm, the samples are nothing but training set. So by using training set only we will train the algorithm. Okay, estimate the expected value of difference in the errors is the expected sample with respect to the entire distribution of error D of LA of S, that is the learning algorithm of this particular sample, minus error D of LB of S, learning algorithm, second learning algorithm of the sample S. So we have taken the same sample to test two different algorithms, and we need to find out the difference between these learning algorithms. Here the L of S, this one, L of S is nothing but the learning of the particular sample, isn't it? Denotes the hypothesis output by learning method L. L is nothing but algorithm, learning algorithm. L, when given the sample S of training data, S is nothing but the training data. Sample, actually the sample is denoted by training data. Training data, where the subscript L belongs to D. Sorry, this is capital D. L belongs to D, which indicates that the expected value is taken over sample S drawn according to the underlying instance distribution D. Right? So the sample S is taken from the entire population. So obviously S is the subset of capital D. Okay, the entire population is D and the sample is S. So the S is taken from D. So S obviously the subset of D. So here if limited sample D0 of data, when comparing the learning method, D0, here D0 is nothing but the entire data set. Entire data set is called as D0. The size is very big. Size is very big. Very huge size. Okay, D0. And from this, we have taken some data for training this algorithm. This is called as training data set, that is sample. Sample is called as S0. So a portion we can take to train the data set. This is S0. And what about the remaining thing? So these are all called as testing data set, which is otherwise called as T0. See, the remaining data set are testing data set, which are T0. Right? The training data can be used to train the learning algorithm LA and LB. Okay, the purpose of training data set, that is S0, which is used to train the algorithm LA and LB, and the test data, the remaining data isn't it? That can be used to compare the accuracy of the two learning algorithms. Okay, that is error T0 of LA of S1. Here the T0 is training data set. Okay, by using the training data set only we need to compare these two learning algorithms LA and LB. Okay, now what is the formula? Error of T0 of LA of S0 minus error T0 of LB of S0. Right? For both the algorithms we are using the same data set, that is the T0. Here two key difference between the estimator. Okay, that is the estimating two learning algorithms. The first one is using T0 of H to approximate error D of H. Okay, error T0 of H, which is the error estimated by using the testing data set. Instead of using the error D of H, isn't it? Error D is true error of the entire population. Okay, instead of this we are using error T0 of H. Okay, because this is the machine learning algorithm, so obviously we have to use only the test data to test the algorithm, right? And second one, measuring the difference in errors of one training set. Okay, for measuring the errors of the learning algorithm we have to use only this S0, instead of the sample which is randomly taken from the entire distribution, isn't it? Instead of using this sample, here we are using S0 from this distribution D. Okay. And next let us see the procedure to estimate the difference between errors of two learning methods. What is the procedure to estimate the errors of two learning methods? First one, okay, partitioning the available data D into K disjoint subset, okay, T1, T2, etc. up to Tk of equal size, where this size is at least 30. Okay, see the entire data will be divided into K number of small sets. Okay, and the size of one single set is 30 at least. Here for I equal to 1 to K, I equal to 1 to K. So this is 1 and this is K, etc. Okay, use Ti for test set and the remaining data are training set of S1. Initially we can take this one as test set and the remaining are training set. Right. Okay. So the first step is Si, which is equal to D0 minus Ti. Okay, D0 minus Ti. So the entire thing is D0. From this, okay, we have taken for test is T1, isn't it? So we need to separate this T1 from this D0, then we can get Si. Right? Okay, we can get these are the sample training set and the hypothesis HA, which is equal to learning algorithm of Si. So on this S1 we have to perform the hypothesis test. Simultaneously we have to perform the learning algorithm, that is hypothesis B, which is equal to LB of Si. The same set we are using to train the second algorithm also. After that we need to find the delta I, which is equal to error of Ti of HA minus error of Ti of HB. Okay, the same thing we have seen in the previous slide, isn't it? Where the value delta, which is equal to 1 by K summation of I equal to 1 to K delta I. Okay, that is the average of all the training samples hypothesis. Okay, this is nothing but the delta bar, the mean of all the data is simply. Okay, here delta bar which is used to estimate the desired quality with random sample S. Okay, the estimator S belongs to D naught. S is the sample and D naught is the entire population. Okay, so obviously S is the subset of the D naught. Here error D of LA of S. So we are using the same sample for estimating both the algorithms. Okay, so LA of S minus error D of LB of S. Right. Next, approximate n percentage confidence interval. Okay. Quality of this equation by using the S bar, which is equal to, what is the percentage here? Delta bar plus or minus T n comma k minus 1 S of S delta bar. Here T n comma k minus 1, which is the constant value and normally which is taken from the Z table. Okay, and S of delta bar, which is the estimate of the standard deviation. Estimate the standard deviation of the distribution governing the delta bar. So here we are having one constant T suffix n comma k minus 1 in our equation, isn't it? Here we are having two subscripts n and k minus 1. Okay, first parameter is n, which specifies the desired confidence level, okay, that is available in the Z table, and the second parameter is k minus 1. So this is nothing but the degree of freedom, which is usually denoted by the variable r, okay, which is related to the number of independent random events, right? The other parameter in this equation is S delta bar, and which is the estimated standard deviation of the sample mean. Now let us see the formula for S delta bar, that is the estimated standard deviation, that is root of 1 minus k into k minus 1 summation of I equal to 1 to k delta I minus delta bar whole square. Okay, this is the standard deviation formula normally. Here k is nothing but the number of samples. K is number of samples. Okay, and this delta I which is the tabulated value, otherwise the target output, and this delta bar which is equal to calculated output. Up to this we have seen the comparison of two learning methods given a fixed set of data, that is the learning algorithm A and learning algorithm B on the fixed data set. That is, we are using the same data set for this both learning algorithms, learning algorithm A and B. Now let us use this paired t-test for comparing these two algorithms, and the procedure is, first one, observe the value of the set, okay, that is set of independent identically distributed random variables, y1, y2, etc. up to yk. Okay, so this y means this contains a set of examples and the value should be greater than or equal to 30. Okay, this is exactly same as the training set. Okay, right. And next one, we need to estimate the mean mu of the probability distribution governing these y. That is, this mu means the entire population's means, that is the entire data set mean. And the third one is estimator is the sample mean. Okay, estimator is the sample mean, that is y bar. Okay, y bar which is equal to 1 by k. What is mean by k? K is the number of samples. Number of samples 1 by k, summation of I equal to 1 to k yi. Yi means sample mean. Sample mean. So we need to take the mean of all sample means. then that is called as the estimator, that is sample mean y bar. Roughly speaking, we need to identify and estimate the population, samples, mean, and the confidence, that is the percentage confidence, standard deviation and standard error of the mean for each variable. So we need to compute all these things. Here the size of test set yi, that should be greater than or equal to 0. That is, at least 30 examples should be there in a test set. And the individual delta I, what is the purpose of delta I? Which is used to compare the two learning algorithm A and B, isn't it? That is error difference between the two algorithms, and that will follow approximately normal distribution due to central limit theorem, because we have already find delta bar. Okay, so by using the central limit theorem, we need to identify this particular one. If it falls on the normal distribution, then all these delta I should also fall on the normal distribution. Okay, hence the distributed random variables yi, that is all the random variables, are governed by an approximately normal distribution, obviously. Okay, all the samples should also follow the normal distribution with respect to the percentage of confidence, right? When the individual yi each follows normal distribution, then obviously the sample mean, that is y bar, should also fall under the normal distribution. Okay, now what is our task? Our task is to estimate sample mean of a collection of independent, identically and normally distributed random variables. Which are our random variables? y1, y2, etc. up to yk. So these are the random variables. So we need to identify the sample mean of these variables. And the restated confidence interval. Now we need to restate the confidence interval mu. Okay, mu, which is equal to y bar. Just now we have computed this y bar, plus or minus t n comma k minus 1 s y bar. Okay, this is the restated confidence interval of mu. Mu means the entire data set. Now here we are having two parameters. Okay, here sy bar, the sy bar is the estimated standard deviation of the sample mean. Sy bar means the estimated standard deviation of the sample mean. Okay, we know what is the standard deviation formula. Sy bar, which is equal to root of 1 by k into k minus 1 summation of I equal to 1 to k yi minus y bar whole square. Okay, here k is nothing but the sample size, that is the number of samples. Okay, and yi is nothing but the tabulated value or target output, and this y bar is nothing but the calculated output. Okay, we need to identify the difference between these two things. Okay, that is the standard deviation, that is the estimated standard deviation of the sample mean, and this particular one t n comma k minus 1. Now we know this is the confidence percentage, that is percentage confidence, and k minus 1 is the sample size. Number of samples. So here the t distribution is a bell-shaped distribution similar to the normal distribution. So t distribution will also look like a bell-shaped distribution just like the normal one. But the t distribution will be somewhat wider, shorter to reflect the greater variance. Okay, because we introduced this sy bar to approximate the true standard deviation sigma y bar. Hence, this is somewhat wider and shorter. somewhat, the shape will be somewhat wider and shorter to reflect the great variance, right? So from this evaluation of hypothesis, up to this we have seen the comparing learning algorithms LA and LB, learning algorithms A and B, and the paired t-test of those learning algorithms. And as per the university examination, you can expect this from 5-mark question. Okay, for more information, please go through your textbook. Thank you.